Let's talk about introverts, the quiet ones, the people who prefer staying in with a good book instead of going to a wild party. Yeah, those folks. Now, for a long time, society kind of underestimated introverts. The loud, outgoing types, they always got the spotlight. But Susan Cain, she's changing that narrative. In her famous talk, The Power of Introverts, Susan shines a light on something we don't hear enough of: the unique strength introverts bring to the table. Spoiler alert, it's a lot. She starts by reminding us that introverts aren't just shy or antisocial. No, they're deep thinkers, creative souls, the ones who listen before they speak, the people who recharge in solitude, but don't mistake that for weakness. Susan says introverts feel at their most alive, they're most switched on, and they're most capable when they're in quieter, low-key environments. It's not that they can't handle crowds, it's just that their energy thrives in calmer spaces, and that's totally okay. Cain dives into history to back this up. Some of the world's greatest minds, you guessed it, introverts. Think Albert Einstein, Bill Gates, even Rosa Parks, people who didn't need to shout to be heard. But when they did speak, their words, they mattered big time. She says there's zero correlation between being the best talker and having the best ideas. Think about that for a second. Just because someone is loud doesn't mean they have the smartest thing to say. And here's the thing. In today's world, we're often told to speak up, be bold, take charge. But for introverts, that's not always their style. Susan's message is clear. That's not a flaw, it's a strength. She recalls her own experience growing up. Susan loved reading. She would bury herself in books, finding joy in quiet moments, but over time, people around her began to push her to be more outgoing, to come out of her shell. Sound familiar to any introverts out there? Susan reflects, I always felt pressure to be more extroverted, like that's what was expected, but I realized my quiet moments, that's where my best ideas came from. And she's right, some of the most profound innovations, art, and ideas are born in silence. Now, let's add a little humor here. Imagine forcing an introvert to lead a pep rally. The horror. Give me a quiet library over that any day. Susan might joke. It's true. Not everyone wants to be the center of attention, and that's cool, actually. It's powerful. She points out that workplaces, schools, and even social settings often cater to extroverts. Open office plans, group projects, team brainstorming. But what about the introverts, the ones who need space to think, reflect, and create in their own way? Susan says we need to create spaces for introverts to do their best thinking, because when they do, magic happens. And she's right. Introverts may not be the loudest in the room,